So, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to you, whoever you are, wherever you are. I hope that things are going swimmingly for you. This is another edition of the Homeschool educational supplement known as Interesting Stuff. And today we will be looking at ancient Chinese medicine. So, have you been to a doctor recently? I hope you've all been very healthy, really, but every now and then we get a little bit sick and we do need to take a little trip to visit the doc. So, the last time you were there, what did they give you? What did they prescribe? Was it rest and relaxation, or was it some kind of pills for your ills? Or maybe something else? The first time that I traveled around Europe, I was amazed that a lot of chemists' shops actually stocked tea as medicine. I never really thought of tea as medicine before, but it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? That everything comes from the herbs and the plants and the flowers and the trees and everything around about us. So it makes sense that there's going to be some kind of medicine in all of the flora that lives around us. And it was all kind of a new idea to me that you could use natural elements to help healing with the body and the mind. And it's all good, really. Why can't we have the best of all worlds? Anyway, diving back into the past a little bit. According to the legends of ancient China, the sages or wise men stumbled across something remarkable 3,500 years ago. They noticed that warriors who survived arrow wounds also made remarkable recoveries from long-term ailments once their wounds had healed. Could there possibly be some link between the two, they wondered? What it was that accidentally the sages had hit on the rudiments of a new form of medical treatment and the science of acupuncture. Now, the Chinese faith in the medicinal value of acupuncture was bound up in their belief in a life force called qi. Yeah, I know, you thought that only existed in strange, mystic kung fu movies, but no, a lot of people actually believe that it's real. The word qi itself translates as air and figuratively as material energy or energy flow. It is the central underlying principle of all traditional Eastern medicines and is also a key element in the study of martial arts. There is also a practice of cultivating and balancing qi, which is called qi gong. Believers in qi describe it as the vital energy force. Something like the Force from Star Wars, I imagine that might be. It's a flow which must be unimpeded for health to be good. However, if you read modern scientific literature, qi is described as pseudoscientific, itself being a predominantly unverified concept, meaning that there's not enough scientific data to actually prove that it exists. So according to the ancient sages, the qi, they believed, flowed through the body along invisible energy channels known in English as meridians. Acupuncture was also devised to correct such imbalances or stagnations of energy within the body. To regulate the qi, sharp needles made of bone, bamboo, or bits of ceramic were inserted into the appropriate points. I wonder who decided which part was appropriate. In the West, acupuncture was first employed in the early 19th century to relieve pain and reduce fever. It had been used successfully in the treatment of arthritis, back pain, and rheumatism. And recently, it has also proved helpful in combating allergies, anxiety, sleeplessness, and even stress. And this is kind of interesting because once upon a time in the past, a doctor that I went to prescribed acupuncture as treatment for some allergies that I have. So I hopped along to the local hospital, and they took me to a little room. I waited my turn. They took me to a little room, and this very nice woman took my hand, placed my hand on the table, and stuck lots of needles in it, and then left. And there I was, alone in a room. And me, I don't like needles very much, so it really wasn't a very comfortable experience. I was just left sitting there sweating for about 10 minutes until she came back and saw the look of panic in my face and realized that this probably wasn't having a positive effect. But, well, we're all different, right? So what doesn't work for me, maybe it might work for you. And as well as the concepts of qi and the use of acupuncture, Chinese doctors also used herbs to treat most ailments. Again, herbal doctors did not look for any single cause or symptom of any illness in their patients. Instead, they tried to find what they termed imbalances or patterns of disharmony. I have always thought it was really interesting that we use the word disease, which is dis-ease, which means not at ease, which means under stress. I just think it's fascinating that we have a word like that, which is basically telling us we're sick because we're stressed. Isn't that how the modern world is? A lot of the time, anyway. Anyway, back to our history. So searching for these disharmonious elements in the body or imbalances, these sages not only determined the state of a person's qi, they also assessed the balance of other vital forces, such as the body's yin and yang. I'm sure you've all seen that ancient symbol with the two sides that are the same, and they can be fitted together. You know what I'm talking about, right? The yin and the yang? Hopefully. Go to Google if you don't. There you go. The former, the yin, was held to be passive and female and white, while the latter, the yang, was masculine, aggressive, and black. As with qi, a balance between the two results in good health, while an imbalance is a cause of disease or sickness or illness. In examining the human body, sages would begin by examining the tongue, checking its color, texture, shape, size, and coating, and the pulse, amongst other things, to assess the state of a patient's qi and to identify the site of the disease. I've seen it discussed as well that from your hands you can tell the health of all the different parts of your body. Also from the soles of your feet you can tell that as well. There's even a science called iridology, where if you look into the eyes very carefully you can tell different problems with different parts of the body, and you can see it actually emphasized in the eyes. Quite amazing, really. With all this knowledge and science around, how does anybody get sick? We should all be perfectly healthy all of the time. Yeah, but I know it's not as easy as that. When a person had been diagnosed, the appropriate remedy was then selected from more than 2,000 different substances available to doctors. Some ingredients, such as licorice, are still familiar today. The prescriptions would change weekly or even daily depending upon how a person felt or how the weather was or the position of the planets even. They would study everything in order to try to heal people. And if a person wasn't responding naturally, they would change the medicine. None of these beliefs has died, really. Indeed, treatment with herbs and acupuncture and spices has become a central strand of modern complementary Western medicine. And a little bit of information that not many people know is that there has been a little bit of a tussle in the background between these two predominant types of medicine: the homeopathic medicine, which is the natural medicines, and the allopathic, which is modern scientific medicines. I think the best would be a marriage of the two. I think to lean too much into one and too much into the other might be to miss something that's important. What do you think? What medicine do you use? Have you tried alternative therapies? Have you tried things like maybe aromatherapy to help you, or essential oil therapy? They're all worth looking at and you can't take your health too lightly because, as we all know, health is wealth. So thanks very much for tuning in. I hope that you picked up something of interest in today's presentation. Let me know what else you'd like me to talk about, suggest a subject, and as always, there'll be some questions under the video. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I wish you an absolutely fantastic day. Take care.